Hey everyone, it's Joy here for Scrapbook.com. Today I've created a card using Scrapbook.com exclusives and some Honeybee Stamps products. So I will be using the Layered Butterflies die, the Diamond Stitched Stencil, Honeybee Stamps Lovely Layers Peony, and then smooth cardstock in florals, pinks, and in yellows. So I want to start by using the pinks. I have all of my Lovely Layer Peony dies, and I'm going to go through the pinks, and I am picking almost every single color of pink, starting from the lightest color going to the darkest. I have 7 layers here. And so I need 7 colors of cardstock. I thought it would be fun to use colored cardstock in these variations of pink to get the look that I want on my flower. So starting with the largest die, working to the smallest die, I am starting with the darkest color of the pink cardstock, going to the lightest color of the pink cardstock. And this is how these are going to layer on top of each other. So the back piece will be the darkest, and the front piece will be the lightest. This was kind of an easy no-brainer way to use these Lovely Layers dies from Honeybee Stamps, is by using this beautiful pink cardstock in all of these gorgeous colors of pinks. I'm also going to be using yellows for the buds. Now I decided to use only 2 colors of the yellows. All of the yellows are beautiful in the cardstock, but they don't all go together well on a flower. So I'm using a darker yellow and then a lighter yellow for my buds. And I also did a pink bud starting from the lightest color going to a darker color. Then we have the Florals smooth cardstock, and I'm going to be using 2 colors of green from this for the greenery in the Lovely Layers Peony die from Honeybee Stamps. So I'm going to get those die cut. I'm using the black platinum here along with the magic mat to get all of my die cutting done. So for that large leaf, I'm going to do some lighter green as well as the darker green. So I did about 3 of each, and then now we have all of our die cuts. Let's put these together. So I'm using some Artis glue and some reverse tweezers from Scrapbook.com. I'm starting with the second largest flower. That's what I add my glue to, and then I adhere it to the largest flower. And these Lovely Layers dies are really easy to line up. You can find where edges match, parts of the petals match, and you just line it up and adhere it down. I do like to add just a little bit of liquid glue in the center towards the bottom of each one of the layers. That way I can lift the layers up and give these some more dimension. And you can see all of the beautiful pinks here and how we went from the darkest and now we are coming down to the lightest. I think it turned out so pretty. So there's that big peony, and here's where I'm going to lift up the edges just a little bit. You also could add some 1mm foam adhesive from Scrapbook.com in between each layer, and then this flower would have a ton of dimension, and that would be beautiful as well. Let me show you how to put these 2 little buds together. So there's 4 dies for the bud. And again, the largest piece goes in the back, then you have your second largest, then your third largest, and then your smallest. It really is super easy to put together. And then we have this beautiful pop of yellow. I love pink and yellow together. It's so springy. And then we have this little greenery piece here that we die cut from the darker green in the smooth cardstock floral. Let's do this pink one. So I did the pink. I was able to use 4 different colors because all of the pink went well. Remember, the yellow was only 2 different yellows. Even though all of the yellows are so beautiful, those 2 went together the best. Okay, I am using Honeybee Stamps scalloped A2 frames. I'm using the largest one, die cutting from some Neenah cardstock, 110 pound cardstock. And then I'm using some mint tape to tape off the scalloped edge. We're going to do some ink blending and some stenciling, and I don't want any of that on the scalloped part. I want to leave that white and just work on the inside. My original thought here was I was going to do some ombre using the Distress Oxide ink in Salvage Patina, but as I was blending it on here, I decided I'm going to do the whole background, and that's just going to be so beautiful. So I'm going to add a piece of mint tape right to the top there and just ink blend this whole background. Then we're going to use the diamond stitched stencil and some cloud paste, because this is going, or excuse me, cloud whip. This is going to be so beautiful on the background. To me, it looks like kind of like a quilt in the background. I'm not going to tint the cloud whip at all. I want it to be white, and because we have the edge of our die cut here white, it looks like it's just going to go into that. So you guys will see what I mean when I peel this back. But I'm going to do a nice thin layer. This will dry super quick because it's not a ton of actual paste on your background. So let's peel this up and take a look at how pretty it is. Then I can remove that mint tape from the edges, and we have this beautiful scalloped edge and that beautiful colored and stenciled inside. I just love that. Then I decided I also wanted a little pop of gold. I am using the holographic mirror paper and the layered butterflies die. Now there's two sizes of butterflies. You have your back kind of shadow piece is what I'm going to call it, and then your more intricate piece. I couldn't decide if I wanted vellum on top or gold on top. So I'm going to try both butterflies and see which way I like it. So I'm also using some vellum. So I have a vellum base and a gold detailed butterfly, and then I have a gold base and a vellum detailed butterfly. So I'm going to adhere these together just to kind of see which butterfly I liked. And I'm a visual person, so I kind of need to see it this way. I decided to do the vellum base and the gold detail butterfly. But if you did the other way around, you're going to have to hide that little dot of glue, but you could use like a pop of color on top of the vellum piece just to hide that glue. Let's do our sentiment. This is from Honeybee Stamps Lean on Each Other stamp set, and I'm using the coordinating die. I inked it up with some black ink, and it says, "Thank you for the way you care," which I thought was a really sweet sentiment. I am using some foam adhesive, the foam adhesive roll here for my large peony, and I will use some of that for some of the other flowers as well. I like to tuck in my leaves, and as you can see, I'm not adding glue to the whole leaf. I like my ends to stay up and loose, so I'm adding glue kind of at the base of each one of my leaves. And this also gives it dimension without having to add any foam adhesive. If the stem is a little too long, I just trim that off. That way I can get it tucked in exactly where I want it. But look at how this looks already against that beautiful stenciled background. I think this is one of my favorite backgrounds ever. It turned out so lovely. Now, I was missing one of the dies from my own stamp set. It's the stem for the buds. So I just trimmed off a stem from the extra leaves that I die cut and adhered that to two of the buds. And then I can tuck those into the leaves, and I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive behind that yellow one. And we'll tuck that in. And then the other yellow one will go on the other side with just a little bit of liquid glue. And then we have our butterflies. So again, I did a vellum base and a gold detail butterfly. And I chose that because I liked the vellum at the bottom because that was bigger and it didn't hide so much of the card. And then you have that beautiful gold on top. So I'm going to add two of those butterflies, one on the rose here, and I am using a little bit of foam adhesive strips right on the back here. And then that's going to give that some dimension as well. Then we have our sentiment, and I love dimension behind my sentiment, so a little bit more foam adhesive is always a nice thing. Put that in place. I'm just using my scissors to trim that down. And then this just fits snugly right in here. Then I want to finish off with, this is the Pops of Color Gloss in Flamingo, and I think that was a nice little pink touch to go around our sentiment. And I'm just going to add a few of those, and this will be adhered to a white A2 size card base. I'm going to add a little bit of a bigger dot here down at the bottom. And let's take a look at this finished project up close. All of those dies with that beautiful cardstock is so pretty, and then that fun stenciled background. I love everything about this. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project, and I hope you have a wonderful day.